What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing today? It's your guy, DeMarcus Tunstall, here for the Beta Project here. You can always follow me at Humble and Focused on YouTube. Those of you who are following me on YouTube, hello to you. Other than that, Facebookers, how you doing? How you living? You living good? I hope so. So we're going into today's video on March 20th, and it's when you're ready. And so today's quote is, things come to you in life when you're prepared for them, when you're ready for them. And that's by Martha Plimpton. Sure, it sounds great. Martha Plimpton. So why do we want to talk about this? Well, it starts with a story. So let me go ahead and bring this on. Let me bring me on here. Hi, how are you doing? So the story starts off as I've been raised in church all my life. And as I've been raised in church, I went to church. I went to Sunday school. I went to choir rehearsal. I went to, male course rehearsal. My dad was a deacon at the church, so we had to go up there on Sundays sometimes while he had to do this and that. Sometimes he would go there and fix something. Sometimes he would go there and clean something, or giving to the church as being a good person of the church. And then we had church on Sunday, which church on Sunday sometimes meant. Now, if you ever been to, and it's gonna sound a little racist, but it's okay. If you ever been to a black church, it starts at like 9 o'clock in the morning and it gets out at like 2 p.m. It's like a school day, right? And then, sometimes you had food afterwards, and then on top of that, then you had, afternoon services that started at like 5:30 and went to like 9. So, for me, church was a pretty big deal, and it's been there for me all my life. And I was actually having a conversation with Sarah. By the way, Sarah, thank you so much for the conversation yesterday. It was amazing. It really kind of got my thoughts moving, and like I said, I don't feel blocked, and I feel full. So thank you very much. But I was talking yesterday about a conversation I had in Uber, and a guy was telling me, and we were kind of conversating back, and we came to this conclusion that we had been in church all our lives. Grandmother's in church, mom's in church, dad's in church praying for us, wanting us to pray. We pray at home, we read at home, we read the Bible here, we study here, we do our Bible, all the stuff, like the words were instilled in me. But as a kid, it didn't make sense. And I remember hearing all the words and knowing all the stories and remembering the books of the Bible. I still can remember the books of the Bible right now because of the fact that all the church studying I'm doing. So hey, let's see if I can do it. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 1 Kings, 1 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalm, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Psalm, Isaiah, Gemini. Yes, you get what I'm saying. It's been a while, but that's been ingrained in me, right? But none of that made sense. The words didn't make sense. The Proverbs didn't make sense. Yes, I understood some of the scriptures made sense, but none of it really hit home until I got a little older. And by older, I mean when I started to study and being available to the information, I started to realize, wait a second, my personal development journey is the exact same journey that has been spoken about in the Bible for who knows how long. So the reason I didn't understand it back then was not because the information had changed. It was because I wasn't ready to hear it yet. And not ready as in like blocking it, but I wasn't mature enough, I wasn't ready enough to hear it. Think about it, you plant a seed in the ground will not break from that seed until that seed is ready underneath the ground, right? So I want you to think about it, like all the things in your life that you have, all the things in your life that you could be. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the next step? Because the things, like, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing about it. Let me show you what Sarah got me last night. Let's see, can you see those? So these right here, these are called, they're turned. These are called Seeds of Happiness. And I really like them. Why do I really like them? One, because they're just a great gift, and they're crazy, and they're silly, and they're right up my alley. But the reason I like these is because, and they got a smiley face on it. Can you see the smiley face? So the reason I like these things is because they represent something like seeds of happiness. To get a plant or to get something, you must plant something. And if you want happiness tomorrow because you're unhappy today, then you've got to plant seeds of happiness so you can yield seeds tomorrow. See? Look at that right there. Boom. If you are too lazy to plow, don't expect a harvest. So if you're not willing to plant these seeds today, then all you're going to do is continue to complain about your life tomorrow. So we got to plant seeds so whenever they're ready, they will become fruitful. And it's like you. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I tell people all the time, like, you got to get into reading. You got to get into personal development. You got to get into growing yourself. Now, why? Because it won't make sense now. Whenever I first started, when I was back in the day when I started the group with Organo, I remember there was two guys there, my leader and one of the other guys that was in the group. And I remember I was sitting on my couch, sitting on his couch actually, just kind of chilling. and one of the team members came in, and we were just kind of talking. I'm cussing up a storm, thinking I'm all cool, blah blah blah. Now my mentor at the time didn't care. He was like he wasn't gonna judge me because that's who I was then, right? But the other guy, the teammate who didn't know me, he goes, yeah, out of nowhere, he goes, you're gonna need personal development. I looked at him and I said, what? Man, I'm fine the way I am, man. I'm MFing great. I didn't understand then. I wasn't ready. And then all of a sudden, I go later on into like my growth, and I start reading things and I start seeing things, and all of a sudden I started realizing, wait a second, let me read these books. And as I started to read these books, I started to understand, wait a second, there is more out here. But I didn't understand it because I wasn't ready to hear it yet. On that couch when I'm saying I'm good like I am. Or I'm great, I don't need to. Or I already know. I can't even tell you how many times I heard that. When you say things like that, you aren't ready. I've got friends right now who I'm like, hey, read this book, and they read the book like, yeah, I really didn't like this part yet. This part seems a little bit humdrum. Oh, this is a repeat. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but you're not ready to hear the information. And until you open yourself up and become ready, you can't receive it anyway. It doesn't matter. You can read everything in the world, but it doesn't make sense until you're ready. Because I can have you read every book in the world, but now all of a sudden it doesn't really apply because it doesn't make sense because you're not implementing it. It's not a piece of your life until you're ready to change, really change. And when I see people ready to really change, I really try to put some energy into them because I also know they'll backslide quicker because the thing is, I can only put so much into them and they've got to, one, let me. That's number one, they gotta let me. And number two, they have outside forces that are gonna bring them right back to where they were. So when I see somebody who's ready to grow and go, I try to put some stuff into them as soon as possible. Hey, listen, read this, watch this, listen to this, listen to me on here, all this stuff, right? Because when you're ready, you need to get it now. You need to go now, you need to invest now. All the church that I had as a kid is in me, and now it's coming out. It was planted in me like what? 31 years ago as a child. All this stuff was implanted, and now it's starting to make sense. And now I can recite and use these words because now they're instilled in my heart. They've been there, but I wasn't ready to use them yet. All right, so let me go back to the quote here. Things in your life will come to you when you're prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, you want something different, you have to be ready for it. That's going to take change. That's going to take acceptance that you're not where you are. Or sorry, you're not where you want to be. You're only where you are. And if you want to change your situation, you've got to move, which means you cannot live the same life that you were trying to live before. So things will come to you in your life when you're prepared for them. The words will come to you when you're prepared for them. The videos on Facebook and YouTube will show themselves when you're prepared for them. Other than that, they're just going to be words. They're just going to be words. I tell you right now, people say, oh man, I don't ever use math, blah, 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 because they're not ready to use math. I use math almost on a daily basis. I do all kinds of algebra to figure out things. And the thing is that they're not ready to use it yet. So I can give you all the information in the world, it doesn't really matter. So let me go to the last quote and we'll get you guys off here and you girls off here. So you can't make somebody be ready for what you're ready for. That is the hardest thing for me to learn. Because when I see my friends suffering, and I see my friends going through some things, and I'm like, oh, I know the answer to that. I gotta send them a video, I gotta send them a link, I gotta give them a book, I gotta give them some kind words. I'm doing that because I'm ready for them to change. But because I hear the sadness in their voice and the despair in their heart, and I know that there's more to it. But I cannot force them. And so you can't make somebody be ready for what you're ready for. And you're not obligated to wait around for them to make up their mind. The great thing is, ladies and gentlemen, as you put stuff into people, just like my parents put the church into me. As you put stuff into people, it will be there. If they decide to indulge in it, the videos will be there, the books will be there, all the words that have come out will be there, the quotes will be there, all this stuff will be there. But it's not going to be utilized until they're old enough to use it. Now, I want you to think about it like this, right? I want you to think about like a 5-year-old kid and their dad gives them a brand new baseball, or he gives them his old baseball glove. This kid grew up with it, and dad grew up with it, and it's been in the family for 14 generations, right? And this kid puts his hands on the glove and he can hardly hold his hand up, okay? So he has the glove, but the glove still doesn't fit. He isn't ready to use this yet. But as he grows and matures and he gets older and he goes through puberty and his hand gets bigger, all of a sudden this same glove that has been there, it now fits his hand. And so I want you to think about it like this. He cannot utilize his glove when he's ready. Until he's ready, Until he's ready, this glove is not going to make sense to him. He's like, this is too big, Dad. Why didn't you get me a smaller glove? but the dad's giving him something for the future. So when I give these videos, when I give you all these things, I'm giving you something for the future, because I cannot make somebody ready. I can make somebody be ready for what I'm ready for them to be for, but I'm not obligated to wait around. But I will gladly give it to you, and when you're ready, you'll find me. I promise you, I've had it happen so many times. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, all I want you to think about is this. At the end of the day, if you open yourself up, truly open yourself up. Now, I'm not talking about you think you're open, but you already know the answers. I'm going to do a video on I already know. That's a whole different video. But when you open yourself up and you're finally ready to receive it, it's a power jolt. I feel powerful when I do my videos. I know it may not be as big as I want it to be yet, but I feel powerful because the information is flowing through me. I have a blessing inside me that is given to you. I want to give it. That's what I want to do. And so I want you to think about it. You will not get anything in life until you're ready for it, until you're prepared for it. Okay? That's the last thing I want to leave you with. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you ladies for coming. I believe and I love in each and every single one of you. Don't forget to plant your seeds, whether they be seeds of happiness, whether they be seeds of money. You got to plant money seeds now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to reap money seeds later. Don't plant seeds of hard work. You got to plant seeds of love. You got to plant seeds in a relationship. You got to plant seeds to raise your children. You got to plant seeds to help one another. There's a lot of seeds in this world that need to be planted that we're not taking time to plant, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got to step up and do these things. Why? Because we cannot grow, we cannot reap anything if we're not willing to, we're not going to be able to get any harvest if we're not willing to plant and plow. If we're not willing to plant and plow, don't expect seeds. You're sad, don't expect a happiness seed to grow up. But you can always plant seeds in yourself, but even better, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the deal, like Sarah gave these to me, you can plant seeds of happiness in others. She got these for me when I was, like that day I told you I was empty. She said she got these for me that day. She planted a seed. She planted a seed in me, a seed of happiness in me that I get a chance to. She went to my garden. She dug up my ground. She planted a seed in there. She watered it, and that will sprout seed. And that will sprout food and water. And guess what? That food, not water, but that food there, I can utilize the food and the seed from that food to plant in other people's gardens. So keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when you're ready, powerful things happen. But you cannot force yourself to be ready. You'll be ready when you're mature enough. It's not necessarily the age factor, but when you get through with stuff. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, because the thing is, ego gets in the way. And when ego gets in the way, you block yourself from your blessings anyway. If you already know, how can you expect to get it? If you already know, there's no reason for anybody to tell you nothing. Oh, I already know that. Okay, great. Well, if you already know that, but it's wrong, whether you know it or not, you're not accepting with an open heart. You're still blocked. So don't stay blocked now. Open up your heart and get ready, so that when the blessings come, when the opportunities come, oh my gosh, I can talk about opportunities for days. When the opportunities hit, you're ready. You're open and ready. But if you're closed off at everything because your money's a little funny, then when that opportunity hits, that money needs, like, that opportunity that's going to take you to the next level, but all of a sudden your first thing you say is, I ain't got the money for it. That opportunity is ready to move you to the next level, to get you out of that financial state, but you're not ready to get it yet. So if you're not ready to receive it, it doesn't matter. If your hands are tied and your hands are clasped like this, you can't receive anything. When your hands are filled, and I've done this video before, if your hands are filled with this, I can't receive anything because my hands are full. You have to actually open up your hands and be ready to receive. So that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I didn't expect to go this long, but it did. I guess it was something that needed to come out, and I appreciate you being here. And have a great Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. So have a great hump day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I got some really good stuff for you tomorrow too, so we'll go into that, and I'll see you soon. Bye.